This is the Long War. I'm Rob Baer, and joining me once again are my partners in crime, Kenny Boucher and Jake Jacobson from Frontline Gaming. What's up, guys?
Mm. Yo, dog, great to be here.
I thought you were gonna say it again, the Jake from State Farm. I thought it would have happened on round two.
But I was gonna bring it up if someone didn't bring it up because this is take two, and we made a hilarious joke which you'll never hear about Jake from State Farm or whatever.
And
First of all,
everybody would have to believe us that it was
This is
super
actually
funny.
the greatest joke of all time. This is just a tribute to that joke.
Yeah.
I'm actually a professional, so I never make mistakes.
That's accurate. I've never seen you make a mistake.
Not
That one time I
once.
saw you eating salad off the floor at a Adepticon hallway on purpose.
That wasn't a mistake. That was being practical.
We're gonna let those croutons ruin your salad.
Nope.
Five
So
second rule is still a thing, as far as I knew.
Oh yeah, even if it's on a convention floor, it's still a thing.
high
Was it
traffic.
longer than 5 seconds?
It probably took me like 10 minutes to eat it.
Like spread the salad out on the floor. He's all mad
Spread it
because they
out.
put
I got no
croutons in it. And
forks.
he's like a little kid just flicking the croutons out, all mad.
That was the only food I had. That was all. That was it, man.
It's back in the old days, Jake, when celiacs didn't exist, and so nobody accommodated with gluten-free menus.
Mm.
So there's Rob. The only gluten-free option was a salad. He had to take the croutons off himself.
All worked out.
Because cross contamination is not a thing.
No, it's just a lot of dirt on the floor. It's fine.
Yeah, dirt's fine. Now, what we were talking about is that we have Jake with us. We have lots of cool things to discuss regarding LVO. There's like the two for a year, two back to backers. It's the only time probably until the next time you outgrow your venue that this would ever happen. So it could be a long time. And that means we have two LVOs this year. And what you were talking about a second ago was so interesting to me with ITC points. Why it's so significant this October.
It's pretty wild how it all worked out. Yeah, just the way the whole the ITC circuit and the season and everything changed this year. So with the WCW, the World Championships of Warhammer is what we're talking about. Because we are giving away, you guys are giving away a free LVO ticket, which we established is not a golden ticket, but there's gold in the ticket.
It's a ticket that is gold.
Mm-hmm. And how would one win this potential ticket? Is this an LVO
That is.
long war doubles
Gold.
winner? Is this a come up with a
Oh, yeah.
with a
Yeah, this is a long war thing.
so long war double? This is long war doubles winners also secure an LVO ticket, or is this a we give it away before LVO and they go to this LVO?
I thought we were giving one away on the show.
Fuck. So we got to come up with a way to give it away.
I don't know. I gave Rob 3 to do as he see fits.
Oh shit. So Rob,
Wait, are we giving away 3 on the show? I thought I was doing some like local deals, or is it?
Oh yeah. Just
local
Okay.
deals?
Yeah, local deals.
HTP, OTP HJs or ZJs or HJs.
I don't know, some weird corner stuff.
So that's
It's
wild.
fine.
So we're gonna have the ability for people to win tickets to LVO. Now circle back to that topic you were talking about with with the WCW and ITC points and now having two LVOs in 1 year, how that can shake out for people chasing ITC points.
That's right. We went totally off track there. My bad. So, but yeah, the way everything kind of shook up, it was a pretty significant year for the changes within the competitive Warhammer scene, and as everybody knows, the LVO being one of the largest, if not the largest, footprint for competitive Warhammer tournaments. So how everything shook up. So not only did we have to move, so LVO has now moved from January to October. And then also within the ITC circuit, now ends at the WCW, so the World Championships of Warhammer, GW's event in November. So I think it's like mid or second or third weekend, or I think second weekend. November. So last chance, basically last chance to secure a golden ticket invitational LVO, right? Which is October. So you got that. But the points wise, this is where it gets interesting. So the way the ITC calendar basically was adjusted is it backtracks. So now because it used to end at the LVO in January. So the points for the January's LVO they counted. So it's on everybody's ITC ranking. So like that exists. And then you're gonna have another one in October at the LVO. And then the way the ITC circuits, so the way the WCW's circuit's going to work is it also is going to count for like the next biggest regional events points valuation, which would be the LVO. So you've got these three basically like monster scores that you can put on the board this year. Granted, you can't do anything about, however you performed in January.
So there's
But now you've
three.
got a
There's
shot
a
at
third new monster score being the first time ever
WCW.
two LVOs.
Yeah. Right, yeah, that too. So
And
you literally have a shot at two LVO scores this year, and then the same valuation depending on how you end up doing at the WCW.
and then you can win a golden ticket for the very next month.
Right. It's kind of crazy how it worked out.
That was a crazy year for anyone chasing ITC points or following the pack, seeing what's going on. I mean, people can come from way deeper in the rankings than usual. So this is that year. If you thought your journey had ended, it might not have.
No, I think the end of the year, for those that are going for like best in factions or just going for like top placements in general, it's pretty spicy with that many like large scores up for grabs.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty spicy.
Yeah, it's one of the most exciting parts of the game is like when we started throwing rankings into it. Like, you remember Rankings HQ back in the day?
Yeah. Now it's like best of factions and such, which kind of Rankings HQ had.
Yeah, and so it was really fun for like the first time. Like, oh shit, look, that's my name up there. So like, it's one of the most important parts of being a competitive and like real ass grown up competition.
Yeah, it's super fun. Yeah, I love the ITC scoring for the faction one in particular. Like I was never, I'm not good enough to ever compete for like first.
But
nor do
it's
I
really fun
play
to
enough
like
for it. But
create
yeah,
the
just to
dream
see
that
like
you can win your faction.
yeah, like the first time I ever saw my name in like
Hobby
top
track.
10 Death Guard, I was like, I'm special for
Yeah.
like a minute. Yeah.
Agreed, Rob. So let's get back on track now.
Yes.
Let's hit that news. I won't.
Yeah, let's hit it.
I won't mute you.
You won't mute me? Promise? Cool. Well, I got some spicy stuff. So first off, let's kind of cover some current products and current events. So Warhammer is obviously doing a preview on Friday. It lines up with Tacoma, the US Open in Tacoma, but it's not part of that. It'll be online, I think what is it, 2 p.m. Eastern time. So adjust that to wherever you might be. And I think it's 7 BST, something like that overseas. They're going to preview a lot of stuff for all different game systems. So I imagine it's going to go more than an hour, fingers crossed, because we just ran out of stuff for Sigmar. We don't have a lot of stuff for Heresy. So it's probably good they're having this preview right now. Then let's see. They also showed off new combat patrols for Space Wolves, which we kind of already knew because it was in the book. Tyranids and Black Templar. So lots of new combat patrols coming out in the near future. I don't know what they're gonna put Nids out with because they already got their book and such. But I guess they'll just splash it in with something else at some point. So plenty of stuff on the horizon there. I did want to talk about J15 games because they have a Chaos Knights 40K compatible tracker for like the Dread rules. I forget what they're called, the new ones. It's pretty dope. It's getting a lot of traction out there, like and it's timely because there's a lot of rules to keep track of and things as far as that goes. So it seems like a good product for a good price. It's easy to use. All their trackers are actually pretty good. I love their stuff in general. And they're reliable and they get stuff out on time. So that was really neat to see. I just wanted to mention that one. A couple other products that came across my desk. Wargames Atlantic makes a lot of like third party kind of alternate things that make really good guardsmen. They don't have a whole super lot that you could use for like Marines and things, but if you're really into guard and alternative guard, they got a lot of stuff up there. Obviously, a lot of historicals too. But they put out these clippers, and I was really curious about them. I didn't realize they're as small as they are. They're only about four inches long here, and in my hands, I basically make them look like a child's toy. But what's really cool about them is that they're the nose, as they call it, is notched, so it makes it really easy to get in and get flush when you're clipping parts off of a sprue, because you can really get in there and kind of get it at the 90 degrees and clip it off. And what's really nice about it is, and I didn't realize it at the time, it's got a little notch inside of the metal, and they actually clip with nothing in it. You can click them and they clip together. They're very precise, and they've got this little nozzle hole here that you can put a drop of oil in from time to time to keep them tip top, um, and clipping smooth. So they're 25 bucks for these, and so far I'm pretty impressed with them, but I haven't used them a whole lot. Um, so I was really happy I bought those. And then they had these glass nano files. Sounds super fancy. And what that means is that they're they're made out of glass and they're files. And remember, when you use files, they're not for going back and forth, because that's going to serrate your parts, and you don't want to turn your parts into steak knives. So when you use a file, go in one direction, quick jerking motion. No, you want to go smooth, one in one direction, let up, back, smooth again. But what's nice about these is that they're like laser etched, and apparently you can just rinse them off in water. I haven't used them yet, but there's a curved one with a very precise little point, which is good for getting in those little areas you can't seem to never get into. And if you use a hobby knife, you end up destroying a detail, and like, your plasma coils become like flat in one section because you just put a gouge in them. So I could see a real use for these there. They've got a point, and they've also got a chisel point too, which is nice. And then these other ones just got a really nice cut to them on both the front and the back. And it's basically, it looks like a nail file, honestly, but seems pretty sturdy. I haven't used it yet, but hopefully I'll know more next week on these. They just came in the mail today, so I haven't had a lot of practical use with these, but definitely looking forward to that one. So I love me some cool hobby tools to check out from time to time. And these seemed a little different. I mean, everybody's got clippers, but they definitely feel a little bit higher quality than most folks out there. Okay, so now that we got all that out of the way, let's talk about the 315-pound gorilla in the room, and that is the Saturnine box. This thing is very girthy and very heavy, and well, it's chock full of miniatures. You get 50 minis in here, and I gotta be honest with you. If you're looking to get into heresy, it's a solid buy. It is the most expensive starter set from Games Workshop ever put out at $315. But the value's there. You get well over I think it's 600. I forget what we wrote up. I do need to revise that article because you get the disintegrator upgrades, but you need the actual infantry to put them on. So there might be like about $50 less in value based on our evaluation, but we'll get to that. Now, here's where it all goes sideways. And you might have seen any one of my editorials this whole time, because there was a bundle, and then it wasn't mandatory, and then there was basically a lot of rumblings the next day that they were trying to get people to up their numbers, which is generally a bad thing. If Games Workshop calls you back and tries to get you to buy more, they haven't sold their forecast, right? And that's a red flag. And a lot of store accounts told me this was happening, and I was like, that's interesting. And they were telling stores stuff like, hey, you want to pick up 10 of each book because, we're getting kind of low on them. We might not have them for a while. And, they got a couple of accounts with that, I heard, and it just wasn't true. So fast forward to, s- Sunday, nothing sold out. It's all still up on their website, which, they made the precedent that they were always trying to sell out of all the new releases. It's probably not the best way to do it. I think folks like seeing stuff on shelves and buying it instead of getting kind of locked into this FOMO thing that's been happening over the past 2 years or so.
I mean, it's wild because like GW's invented, or not invented, but done so well with so many, like big box bundles, box breaks, extra value, like real good stuff, man, that we got really into.
Yeah.
But the problem is nothing lasts forever. No technique for selling the product, because like it doesn't matter how good your product is, right? Sometimes it's about properly showcasing that to people so that they would like to purchase it. And so the method in which you are showcasing it to the people, that may need to change over time. And so GW always seems to be like a little slow on that change. Like, you know, the big box bundle value deal, like that's old news now. Like we're not necessarily like, we want something different now, right? And then they changed it again, But the thing is that you've always said they're a big ship and they take forever to move, like to course correct. I mean, I think we're like 2 iterations behind right now. Like they got to be doing a new thing. Like,
Yeah. And I think what we're seeing universally across the board with this release, and maybe you want to write this date down, July 7th, 16th, 2025, because this was the day that they caved again to public demand, to public outcry. Not necessarily caved, they addressed it. And we saw it with the Voton release in ninth edition, um, where they were, maybe mildly concerned that Voton wasn't going to sell. And it wasn't something that things didn't sell the same way back then as they do now. So they had to actually get ahead of it. But now they're kind of like in the middle of it. Like things have already not sold. So now they're like, hey, we heard that some of you are concerned that your toys are going away. Well, we're making this sheet, this list, this PDF. We're going to call it Legacies. It's not Legends, it's Legacies. You still get to play with it. By the way, Heresy's a narrative game. It was designed as a narrative game. But all our events, you're going to be okay to play with this stuff at. Okay, cool. Um, but they went on to say that, hey, Heresy is designed to play with the way the models come in the box, and that the rule books are transportable by players, meaning they're not super thick because they're overloaded with all these units and things. And I've been saying it for years. People don't like to be told that they can't play with their toys.
I forgot that this is that box.
But
That this is related also to the legacy situation.
yeah, that just happened today. So they came out and they're like, here's all the rules. You're gonna be able to play with this stuff. But I think the internet's big gripe with that, and I think it's good that they got it out there and they got public with it. But they've been previewing stuff for 2 months, and they even read out the gate, said, hey, custodies are gonna have a PDF drop as soon as this thing is. So why didn't they say this then? They would have saved a lot of face, they would have saved a lot of heartache. But now they're like, hey, this was gonna drop on release day, but we're putting it out right now. And you got to ask yourself, why is Games Workshop doing this? And to me, it's clear. The release didn't go the way they wanted. They didn't sell as many units as they thought they were going to. And now they got to figure out a way, they're scrambling to get
Yeah,
these things sold.
and that means
And
they also heard and registered the primary complaint.
yes, which is good, because it's very good that this happened. And here's why. Because they have heard and they have adjusted to their clients, which really kind of hasn't happened except for that Votown incident when the Votown first came out. They haven't really kind of been like, oh, dang, maybe we messed up. And here's the thing. Yeah. Oh, dang, you did mess up. You really off put a lot of people, not only with that they had to learn. You're trying to convince a veteran group of gamers that they need to relearn, and now they need to redo their armies. Those are two things that people don't even want to do right now for their main systems, and definitely not the grognards. So that was a misstep, 100%. And I think you can the systemic cause of all of this at Games Workshop is the way that the departments interact with each other. They're all like little spy departments. Nobody knows what's working on in the door next door, in the room next door for months and years on end. There's no communication. The and things like this happen because of that. And at the end of the day, people just want to play with their toys. And the continuation of this and the fact that so many units are still available when store owners are like, dang, if they had called me back to buy more Space Wolf boxes, more Emperor's Children boxes, more whatever, instead of now I'm stuck with all this heresy stuff. And I saw a post by a game store. I'm not going to say who. You might have seen this yourself. A larger store out west, not Frontline Gaming, obviously, where the store owner posted on the store page. She's like, "Oh dang, we're really hitting some hardship now. We went and made a big mistake, and we're gonna get through it, but we could definitely, use." He was basically kind of just being like, hey, come into the store and like buy some stuff, and people started getting curious and start prying. And then in the comments, if you read through it, he's like, well, what happened was we ordered 170 Horus Heresy boxes, and we had about 60% of our pre-orders back out the weekend of. So now and I'm assuming that the bill is coming due, and maybe they don't have that money. So it is a problem for a lot of game stores out there that, GW called them up, maybe called them up, tried to entice them to get more stuff when it wasn't selling the next day. And here we are. So I think this might be a red flag for them to do a little better in the future and not make it about them and what's easy for them, and make it more of a value to the players that they still get to play with their stuff. Because I could definitely see a year from now when 11th drops, if something like this happens, it's going to push a lot of players away from the game, I think. And it's great that they have so many new people coming into the space, that they have the luxury of fucking up this bad constantly and still making money and leaving that much money on the table when stores can't even get the basic necessities. Notwithstanding, if you look on their website right now, nearly all of the Space Marine stuff was sold out for Horus Heresy. And not just from this weekend. It's been sold out. They literally launched a game when the main faction has been sold out for months. And if it wasn't for the bundles that they did, a lot of stores wouldn't even had secondary items to sell the people that had picked up the game new or are picking up the game new this week. So it's kind of like a silver lining, to be honest with you. So I think overall, I can see where a lot of people are upset about this, but I think this was a very good wake up call, hopefully, to whoever's in charge at Games Workshop, the forecasting, the development teams, the everything, that this is unacceptable and people have got their attention, which I think was something that we hadn't seen before. So I'm excited personally over all of this.
Well said. Good job, Rob.
I wanted to rant. I wanted to yell, but
you did an amazing job, man. Bringing that together, man. I appreciate you.
It's frustrating
Doing all the hard work that you do, calling up all your leads and like keeping everyone updated on seats. So we always say you got to vote with your hobby dollars. You know what I mean? If it's really easy to buy something, because like you feel like you need it, but then you're like, do I though? Like, I don't really want to support this behavior. And so it might have happened finally. Didn't happen with Indominus. But cool, man. What else you got?
that's basically it on the news side of things. Gen Con's coming up. That'll be fun. And
Oh, our boy Duff is teaching at Gen Con.
he sure is.
Yeah. So guys, if you're going to Gen Con and you didn't know because it went up late, apparently, our boy Duff has actually got a course there. So check that out. But let's do a quick commercial break. Hear from some sponsors, and then I have a fun little exercise that we're going to do when we come back. And we're back. So earlier in the show, we mentioned that we have an LVO ticket to give away.
Oh wait, before you do that, did you do the Wyatt update 2.0?
Oh, you know what? That was in the restart. Wyatt and I talked on Discord today. He's in wound care, and he gave me a forecast of 6 to 8 weeks before he's home. And he's doing well. He's teaching himself Blender in the hospital, so he can be a prolific 3D sculptor when he gets out.
I'm excited about that part.
Hell yeah. Yeah, he's doing good. He's doing good. High spirits. So Jake, I looked through the show notes and actually saw all these prompts that Rob was talking about for like giveaway ideas. So I wanted to pitch a few to you. I think that we could do, because this is a big deal, right? Like not only do you get a free ticket to LVO, you get that awesomely produced ticket you guys made with the foil stamping on it. Which, if you're watching now, you can see how amazing it is. And if you're driving to work, it is a full relief foil stamped, thick, high quality, girthy ticket. And it's funny.
Yeah, girthy.
Let me flick it for girth.
It is
There it
flicking
is.
the ticket right now. Barely any movement from that thickness. So what's interesting about that ticket is that it could have all been done with a QR code, bro. But they went the extra mile to make the ticket. And so they can put it in your hands. You can have that. That's a piece of memorabilia. That's probably not going to be the same ticket they use ever again. So we're talking
one and done.
The one time that LVO is happening twice in 2025. It may happen twice in a year again, sometime in the distant future if they move venues. Jake is saying it's not. So this is potentially the only double year, and that ticket might be super collectible. So we want to give it away, and I read through these, and there's some really good ones in here. And Jake, I want you to, I know which my favorite one is that we can do as a community exercise live on the show, but thematic prompts. Here's my top pick is, what would a commercer say to motivate a guardsman facing a hive tyrant? Best line gets the ticket. That's one of my favorites. Okay. And I also like, what's your custom Chaos Warband model? Right. And meme style interaction. Write the next meme worthy tagline for Warhammer 40K. The kind you'd put on a t-shirt for a bumper sticker.
There's definitely some good ones in here. And everything you said is factual. So very, very, very well said. This is definitely like intended to be like collector's item type of thing. It's just something fun and something super overdue. To be able to support within, and not only we'll get to the whole like third party event support portion, but the fact that the LVO season kind of like ends our awesome calendar of regional events that we have going on. So to add this element of like prize support within our own events made just a lot of sense. Where it's like you do great at Cherokee Open, you do great at Atlantic City Open, and you win a ticket to the LVO. It just kind of like made sense, right? But it's just something fun, and we're hopefully everybody's kind of noticed that we're trying to add more of that layer of fun and interaction throughout our events portion of our activities throughout the year. But yeah, this is definitely something we're going to switch up year after year. I guess I should never say that there's never going to be like a double, a twice in 1 year. You can never say never is what I'm taught.
But you're telling me you've engineered enough
no.
growth in this new venue that that if this ever happens again, we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Look, it's possible, right? It's very, very possible. I would say that this new venue, which is one of the reasons we chose this one, was I think it could easily accommodate upwards of 12 to 15,000 in comfortable attendance, which is a lot. You know, that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
But that'd be my best bet. So I'm not gonna say LVO will never outgrow that, but I think it's gonna be a minute.
Yeah. We might not be doing this podcast anymore by then.
You know, with the long war happening twice in 1 year, right?
That's
Like, or
another.
I think, yeah, I was gonna say,
Coincidentally, it's
I think that joke also got clipped
yeah,
out of Take Two,
Hmm.
but
it's
yeah,
almost as
the
if
so nice we do it
there's
twice.
2 events. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's weird. But yeah,
yeah.
so I want you to pick which one of those prompts you think is the funniest prompt.
This is hard. As much as I want to hear someone wog on
I don't
chat
know how.
in chat, I don't know how that works, but
Yeah, I don't think you could.
yeah, the loudest one winning. As much as I want to see that, I would say here's my top two. Describe your last paint job
Oh, that's a good
Yeah.
one.
in 5 words or less, and the funniest description takes the ticket. I like that one a lot. And then the second one would be to describe Warhammer 40K in exactly 6 words.
Oof.
I
Hmm.
like. Oh man, those are both good.
I
So
like the hobby one.
the hobby one, yeah, I'm vibing hobby. So let me copy paste them. I'll throw it in the chat, and we're gonna
I'm
take.
feeling that one. I'm feeling that one
We're
for
gonna
We'll
sure.
have to
take.
give people like a minute or two because if they're out of sync with the live stream, they might be catching up too.
Yep, I'm gonna throw it in chat.
I think that one stood out to me because my last paint job, like it made me chuckle because I was thinking about my last paint job because I was like not proud of it. Like
There it is.
I
Not
definitely
proud of it.
that's four words, right?
Yeah, 5 words.
Oh yeah, 5 words or less. It was it was the describe, yeah.
Not proud of it. That would be Jake's submission. So yeah, for the first time ever, we're going to be doing a user submission caption contest, essentially, prompt contest with Jake for the memorabilia, collectible, exclusive memorabilia, uh, that years from now you'll have a version of that nobody else has.
You don't have to turn that ticket in, do you? Like once you get it,
Nope.
like
Yours to keep. So what you do is
nice.
instructions are on the back.
Oh, okay.
You do a
I saw it had
form.
a QR code.
Yep. But every one of these that we give out, like we can track through this. So
Ah.
sometimes we're smart.
Yeah.
Same.
And I'm writing these down as you guys are throwing them in, guys. And so, what was the last paint job, Jake, that you did?
It was converting. So like I really like dislike doing this, like repainting my own models. So actually you guys will see my Death Guard army. Not me playing it. Anybody going to the Lone Star Open in Dallas next month, you'll actually see my Death Guard army being played. But I really dislike doing this. Like I like respecting, hey, I painted this, 6 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever it is. So just keep it, move on, like not, don't redo stuff. But so with Death Guard, obviously you can paint in most people paint them in 2 popular schemes, one being like, pre-Horus Heresy, post-Horus, green versus beige, right? I actually have some right here, ironically. So I was repainting one of my Mephitic Blight Haulers, and it was just so mediocre. Like I put so much effort into just like masking, so I didn't have to rebase anything. Actually, I have them right here. So this is the old one. If I don't, hopefully that focuses.
Oh
But
yeah.
this is the old one. So this is when I first was jumping back into the hobby in 40K. Was it like halfway through 8th edition, give or take? Okay, so it was okay, right? It's not bad, not bad. I think I have the new one. Yeah. And then I was deciding if I'm going to paint the whole scheme the same to my pre-Horus Heresy color scheme. But then I went on like a sidetrack apparently.
Jake is
and
showing
then
us
did this.
amazingly painted little
airbrush
blight haulers.
hyper highlighted and
So actually none of this is airbrush.
Oh, really?
I'm a dry brusher. I was actually like an anti-airbrush snob for a little bit. It was actually because my buddy that really like taught me how to like get back in and taught me the basics.
Hmm.
He was like, dude, before you get into an airbrush, just get like clock like uh 1,000 hours of brush time, just so you don't like ruin yourself too
That's fair.
early. And I was like, fuck it,
That's fair.
good
Because
dude,
what
dude knows what he's
happens
talking about.
what happens when people learn how to airbrush and they get really good really fast,
Yeah,
they stop brushing and they start justifying less brush work, right? Because they're getting such
yeah.
fast results. And so, yeah, and I've always said that good dry brushing can look a lot like airbrushing.
Oh yeah, big time, big time. I mean, I'm actually in my office, so I could show you my whole cabinets, but I'm not gonna go on a total tangent. But yeah, it was a decision between like just doing everything, all my vehicles, in the beige scheme. But yeah, so that was my last paint job. It was just converting it from one green to a more updated green, which still isn't like cohesive because that doesn't make sense. But that's fine, it is what it is. And then as soon as I was done with it, I was like, man, I just remembered how many steps I skipped because I definitely learned to paint fast. Just family man, I work a lot, stuff like that. So like learning all the hobby hacks, right? Bad habit, just knowing which
Just do
details to
it.
pick out and which to not. But yeah, so converting this last paint job it was last week before I went on vacation. I just like looked at it, I was like, guess
What
it's good enough.
what's your what event are you playing in?
I'm not playing, so I'm letting a friend borrow the army
Hmm.
for Lone Star Open, which is awesome because I want my Death Guard to be played. I haven't personally played them since ninth.
Oh, it's been a minute.
It's been
Get
a
him some
minute.
table time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love him, man. It was Morty. I saw Morty on the shelf. That's when I was like,
Yep.
I want to collect that army. And that was the
Oh,
first Death Guard model I bought.
Mortarion was the first Death Guard model you bought.
Oh, wow.
Man,
I'm a
He's a
visual person,
chungus.
man.
Yep.
I waited a long time for that guy to even exist. Like playing Death Guard, buying. I mean, we didn't even have the word Death Guard when I started playing Nurgle. Like it was just like
Yeah. It was just like, hey, get some.
chaos with Plague Marines. It was a long wait. I was on
Yeah,
a forum called deathguard.org back in like 2003.
that
Yep.
sounds so official.
Yeah. Like just posting with my fellow Nurgle fans, Nurgle enjoyers.
Mm. Sickos.
Yeah.
Here we are. So tell us about this store uh program, but I don't want to call it a golden ticket because I already messed that one up. So I'll let you label it.
Yeah, for sure. So we did we launched these in conjunction with to keep it simple, the FLG prize support program.
There we go.
Yeah. And like we put a lot of effort, I would say this particular year to really revitalize our, let's call it, our mission statement as a company, which is being champions of the community. Like nothing's ever deviated from that goal in mind, because but it's easy to lose track of. It's easy to lose track of because then you
Mhm.
get lost in the sauce. You grow as a company. You expand into different things. So I'm not saying like that's ever changed, but it was more of like a realization, like, hey, we really need to double down and work 3 times as hard to just remind everybody, like, look, we have that slogan in our logo for a reason. And that's one of the biggest things that I've always loved about FLG is that it's literally always been about for the people. You go to one of our events and like you feel that, or it's just very community driven. Just the way that basically like any situation, be it like changes to terrain or like what kind of format something is being ran in. It's at a certain point, like especially as an event runner or like a TO, you have to make a judgment call, of course, because that's what everybody's depending on you for. But for the most part, everything that we do here is community driven, and which just makes sense. Like we're not going to make a product that's not something that's in demand or that nobody wants. We're not going to create a matte design that nobody's asked for, like that type of thing. But on the event side of things, this program that we spent a long time putting together, as simple and straightforward as it is. Obviously, like takes a long time to put things together, but it's the FLG prize support program, because we make mats in-house, we make the full color MDF terrain in-house, as well as like other gaming related accessories, tabletop gaming related accessories. And we wanted to support other like-minded TOs, event runners, local shops, you name it, for running the event, because it's that whole like the better the hobby does, the better events do in general. Just the better it is as far as like a community. And I think we've seen a lot of that this year with, I'll give credit to GW where credit's due. Is I think they've done a great job, specifically with 10th edition when it comes to 40K, in appealing to like new players that maybe it was a little bit too complicated or too complex to casually get into, right? So I've seen a ton of new players just coming all across the board, be it RTTs, be it smaller regional events, bigger regional events, certainly like our events. The amount of new people getting into the hobby has been tremendous. And I think we all support each other, whether you're running an event, Rob, Kenny, you're running an event. It's like we're all supporting each other to some degree. So this is just our way of formalizing our contribution toward into the community.
I really appreciate
That was actually, I had that question for you, like if you thought because the way I don't know if you remember, like about, I guess it was 7th edition, it was, a lot of it was becoming super hyper competitive and there wasn't as much of an emphasis on the hobby. And that was kind of where we tried to organize, and when we started Long War Doubles, actually, to kind of bring the hobby back to the hobby, because people weren't spending that time. Like if you went to Adepticon, to the team tournaments, people, around the room, there would be all these dope ass displays, and there really wasn't a whole lot of that, or it was just people using the same stuff over and over. How do you see that like now in this year, because the homogenization that has increased the adaptation of 40K by new hobbyists, but also from what I've seen is it's trending back towards that hyper competitive play style where people are just jumping to the next thing and not really spending a whole lot of time hobbying on their stuff. And also there isn't a whole lot of customization to be done, because a lot of the data sheets are exactly what comes in the box, which isn't a bad thing either. But how do you see it? Do you see, do you see as much hobbying as before? Because to me, I'm not seeing as much hobbying as there was in previous years. And I think it's due in a lot of cases to the homogenization and simplification of rules. And also, things like the layouts and the, tournament companions and things, which at face value aren't necessarily bad, but it has, I think, pivoted things a bit.
Yeah, no, and that's certainly the case, and I've certainly noticed that. Like I wasn't playing in 7th, but like hearing all the stories and just seeing the state of the game throughout like the different editions, specifically to 40K. Like I see it, and having like, not to go like even as far back as like when and why the ITC was even created in the first place, type of thing. Like the 40K has always seen like a very healthy competitive format within in the more recent times, right? And then it got, let's call it a little foggy, just exactly like you're saying, where it's like it's literally just slap 3 colors on, get into an army and just like play, crush the tournament mentality. I definitely noticed that a lot happening in around like the 8th edition time frame. But it is up to and this is where I think a lot of that responsibility falls on the event runners. Again, whether it's a local shop, a local gaming store, or if it's a company that actually like focuses on running events, or if it's charity events, whatever it is, it's like up to the event runner on like how that's promoted. So one of the first changes made within our calendar year, so starting with Cherokee in February, was like a very large emphasis on the hobbying portion. A lot more clarity on like, hey, it's not just a 3-color minimum, because people, it's a very small percentage of people that do that, but that's easily exploitable, where it's like, here's a silver dot, here's a red dot.
I want my 10 points.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's fine. Like, I can't fully judge. I get it. Some people just really dislike the whole painting portion of it, of the hobby, and they just want a game and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, like, we know what we're signing up for as Warhammer hobbyists specifically. It's to build, paint.
Oh, yeah, honestly,
play.
I can't entirely agree with Rob's point of view. I've only experienced like armies getting better. Like I haven't like I've only seen it get better. Like the concept of a 3-color minimum is so far behind us that it's rare that it comes up.
Yeah, it's such a small percentage
in my personal games. Now, occasionally I'll play with a guy where I'm like, is this really all the way painted? Because he's got some units hiding in the back that aren't painted. Like kind of threaded in. And it's very different. He 89% of his army's painted, and he just had to he wanted this extra unit, and he kind of didn't want you to notice. That's very different than I took 3 cans of spray paint that are different colors and did a vortex mist on my Space Wolves, and they're called Warp Wolves. 3 colors, what I mean, which has happened famously.
Yeah. It's a black base. They're in the warp. It's thematic.
Yeah, and so I don't know. I think that the most important thing that ever happened was kind of like leaving the concept of 3-color minimum in the past and moving toward battle ready, and with the advent of and having GW explain that, and with pretty solid, diagram, actually explain what they mean, which is funny.
No, that was good.
Yeah, because what they mean is paint the guy, paint it, like you paint the stuff on the model.
Yeah.
That's I'm like, wow, thanks for breaking that down. But it's
one of the focuses we shift was even on basically top awards, and I think that contributes towards that. It's not just about best general, meaning first place, but so with the size of our events, we typically are able to give away 2 golden tickets for the 40K side of things. So shifting it, not just best general focus where it's first and second, it's first place. So best general obviously should get a GW golden ticket invitational, but Absolutely. The Paragon, so the best overall, meaning a combination of your tabletop performance and your paint score. So I've made it a personal mission to even for, because we're all gamers here. A lot of us play 40K as well and actually go to our own events and stuff. It's to the point where I've bullied my own team to be like, you go get a paint score.
Yeah, I love that.
Doesn't matter if you think you're ready or not. And so that narrative is definitely promoted and pushed. It's highlighted very much in our player package and stuff, where it's just get a paint score. Put yourself out there. Because I didn't put myself out there because I always knew what I was kind of in a rush to paint. And I was like, oh no, it's not a thing, right? But just taking that step to do it and promote others and promote attendees at your events, or to promote your friends to be just get a paint score, because it almost naturally clicks you over, oh, that's right, reminds you playing or collecting this hobby and participating in this hobby is you playing your really cool looking and beautiful looking armies. You're spending time, whether you're whatever your skill level is, you're spending time and dedicating it into this. And just the psychology of I'm getting my paint score. Oh, I want to do better next time. I could have maybe gotten placement for best overall, stuff like that.
It can really drive you forward. John Patrick said something kind of interesting in chat. We were talking about it. He'll say the barrier of entry of having dope looking army is so much lower because speed paint, slap chop, painting content.
It really is.
Yeah, just like the advent of the concept of speed paints and the slap chop value painting system has now kind of really caught on. And and that's I've always expressed at the show my disappointment in the contrast paint rollout, because I felt like it was a squandered opportunity at the time. We're talking about Duncan was still on the YouTube channel.
Yeah, it was 2019 when they rolled it out.
And I was like, I like, despite any element of that rollout, the thing that I found most irritating was the failed opportunity. Was because they came up with this new product that, for the most part worked, but they didn't take it as a teachable moment to the audience. They're like, just hit it with a light color like Wraithbone Primer, put it on it, and it's done. And they even showed us a picture of 100 Space Marines painted that way, right? And making it so they didn't teach anyone anything. Then later, Slap Chop started kind of catching on, where people were like doing art lesson. Hey, we're gonna value paint this guy and value relief, maybe some dry brushing, maybe some washing, so the dark stuff's dark, the bright stuff's bright, and we got interplay and transition, through just basic techniques like washing and dry brushing, and then put your value paints, your speed paints on, and now look at this result. So if GW had, like, when they still had Duncan, when he was like top of the food chain, they were like, hey, we're gonna roll out with this new starter pack of dry brushes, soft, round, 3 different sizes. We have a new set of contrast paint branded spray paint, which is like a black, a gray, and a white, right? But like they're specially formulated to blur together, kind of like ghetto airbrushing. You know what I mean? If they were like, this is the new contrast starter pack, now watch Duncan teach us an art class, it would have changed the world, man.
Yeah, it would have.
What a squandered opportunity, And then instead it got really controversial really fast. But it did lead us to all the competition, and now anyone can walk into the market and have a reasonable ass looking army, especially when you consider what 3-color minimum used to bring to the table.
Dude, for real. Speaking of ghetto airbrushing, like the minute anyone figures out the slap chop method, black, white, even if it's dry brush, right? And then blasting contrast paint through an airbrush. The first time I did that, I was like, holy shit.
It's a game changer.
Yeah, it's so fast, and it just immediately looks good.
Yeah, so I mean, there's really no excuse in the modern era, and I do think that is reflected mostly, even when you go to LVO and there's 1,000 players, round 1.
Yeah,
I mean, a very low percentage of a huge sample size of people who should be embarrassed. You know what I mean?
I can't, or going back to what Rob said, I can definitely, I can see where he might be coming from as well. Because I have noticed, because I made a commitment to be at each of our regional events this calendar year, like actually on site. I've noticed regional differences for sure. And so I don't know if it's maybe like accessibility to like, whatever the local community scene is. But I've noticed different regions where it's, like you can always rely on, X regional event to just you're gonna have like mind-blowing paint jobs, like people that hobby all throughout the year just to like showcase. But then you go to another regional event where it's the scene or the local, majority of the local scene is, you can tell that the groups are just more about the competitive aspect of things, and then it's just not as much, so I'm assuming that has a lot to do with maybe certain perspectives, but for the most part I can say for us, like, our hobby entry turnout has been tremendous since we started like promoting and pushing it, saying like, yo, just do it, here's a clear rubric, here's a clear outline, here's what you get, here's what you win. Ask any of the actual like qualified hobby judges afterwards if you want some tips and stuff, like on what appeals on the tabletop. Like, we're not sitting here trying to do a master class or anything. The thing is like, how does it look from the tabletop, right? But no, I would say overall it's like Kenny was saying, even on like an easy barrier of entry element of the hobby side of things, what the advanced level painters are doing is like using all this new cool stuff and like really
taking it back to the Beats Lab and flipping the EQs and spinning the wax.
Yeah,
bro. Like, it's
dude, because it's so much quicker now to do like complicated stuff using,
it can be,
like, like new stuff. So, rather than spending 20 hours on something,
cutting time in half
years ago. Yeah, exactly.
So I got a quick question just from the audience, and then we're going to go to our award drawing. So KR Queenie asked to Jake, biggest question about new LVO venue in hotels and catering stuff. What's being done? Like, what's that situation?
Hmm.
Carding stuff.
Oh, yeah, carding. Oh, sorry, carding stuff there. I
I was
misread.
like, catering? I was like, there was definitely going to be food
Sorry,
options there.
misread.
No, all good.
Carding stuff there.
Yeah. Yeah, this has been a hot topic because everybody's used to the LVO being attached to a hotel. And I think we covered
Oh,
this.
right.
Yeah, I think we covered this in the last episode I was on with you guys. But so the Golden Nugget is the hotel that's it was right about a mile or less than a mile away. Ironically, is a little bit shorter than the elevators from the Masquerade Tower at the Rio to to like one of the ballrooms. So meaning it's close, but still at the end of the day, I understand like it's not, it's not attached. It's not as ice or it's not within the same confined
Yeah,
building.
you had to put your
Um,
stuff back away and then put it in your
yeah,
car and drive.
yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
we have army storage, like a locker storage, kind of code checked style, where it's in a secured area. Uh, for high rollers, it's included as part of their ticket. So this is like a whole secured area that we dedicated to um, secure armies if you wanted to leave them with us. Uh, we were thinking about doing like lockers and stuff because majority of like large conventions, it's like Adepticon and stuff, you'll get it like a locker. But
Mm-hmm.
we thought of it more as, hey, so many of our players and our attendees have like FLG display trays and it's a certain footprint.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, guess what? That doesn't fit in a locker.
Oof.
And then, but noticing that the majority or like many of the players like actually like have that kind of tray setup, obviously you start stacking and building out a customized system. You can do that. But yeah, so
That's awesome. That's a good answer.
Yeah, there's a locker storage system.
All right, so let's finish the show off with picking a winner. So I have a
Okay.
few submissions for 5 words or less on describing your last paint job. Funniest wins. I'm gonna read them out to you guys and let's see what you think.
Do we have like a laugh-o-meter or is it
No,
like
it's gonna be purely subjective. I'm gonna read them and you guys weigh in, and I'll
let me
break
put
time.
let me put my poker face on.
So gravity is a theory. Says simply looks fine from 15 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Kara Quinn says alcohol makes this look better. We got a chuckle.
Alcohol makes everything better.
Got a chuckle.
Mostly.
Zenwu said gunmetal, known oil tribute. Andy said Valiant Mammoth Wolf Knight. Very specific. I imagine he is painting a Mammoth Wolf Knight of some type. John Patrick. If it's not finished, it's done.
Mm.
Mateo. Brushwork makes my ass twerk. USA Libertarian. 10 points is 10 points.
True.
And Zakov said, and this one has like a setup because he's colorblind.
Oh.
Whoops. That wasn't great paint. So I got the most chuckles from these two. So let's read them again. Kara Quinn said, alcohol makes this look better. Brushwork makes my ass twerk.
I kind of like the 10 points is 10 points.
Oh, I like 10 points is 10 points a lot. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Like $20 is $20. 10 points is 10 points.
Yeah, obviously.
So that's your favorite one?
Yeah, I think that was my favorite one, but I'm not. It's not my my cat fight.
It's a bit of a voting system. What about you, Jake?
I like me some ass twerking because I get that feeling. Sometimes you slap on that paint job and it's like
They heard it here.
I'm feeling myself.
Jake likes to twerk when he's doing brushwork.
It all rhymes too.
And it rhymes. Yeah, fuck it. Mateo. He's the winner of our 5 words or less. Funniest answer wins.
With his twerk. All that twerk.
We're gonna need to see the model and the twerk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Well, I guess we didn't say it had to be factual, so scratch that. I
He
just
just-
realized
he-
that I
he
tried to
just did
solicit
a-
an inappropriate picture.
He just painted
Yeah,
a Black
yeah, no.
Legion army and went to the GW event that was up in Canada recently.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So he earned it. But yeah, congratulations to Mateo. Shout out to Frontline Gaming, Jake, for awarding a golden ticket to our audience. Hopefully, this will give you an opportunity to come out to Las Vegas this year.
Congrats, Mateo. You definitely made us chuckle.
Yeah.
But this is the ticket. Basically, it's good for whichever event you choose. Might I suggest the Long War doubles?
Mm-hmm. I think.
And might we suggest that you find Jake on the tournament floor and be like, I'm the guy that twerks.
Dude,
Make it
bonus
totally
points.
awkward and maintain eye contact.
Bonus points, don't say anything. Just
bonus points if you know nothing.
I'd be like, what? Why is everyone twerking?
All right. Well, thanks for coming on the show tonight and reminding everyone about LVO in October. Get your tickets, guys, if you haven't already. Long War Doubles is on sale, and we're not the only thing there.
We're the only thing there.
It's literally a whole ass new convention center just for our event.
Nice.
Yeah,
We're worth it.
Yeah, Mateo says he's just gonna roll up on you and start twerking all over you.
I'm all about it. I'm all about it. Yeah, there's actually a lot of I made a joke about that, but there's a ton going on, including so GW is bringing actually like a whole bunch of new activities. Supposedly there's like 3 statues, like 3, like the Space Marine, and
Not just the Terminator.
Right. Laser tag, so the kill team laser tag.
That always seemed cool.
Yeah, giant Space Hulk, like a giant McFarlane figure size Space Hulk.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. So like there's a whole bunch of stuff going on for this year, and actually we're about to update the website here in the next week or so with all the cool stuff. So I was obviously making a joke about there's not that much going on. There's quite a bit going on. And actually the Long War, speaking of the Long War, I'm going to continue to hijack your show as you're trying to end it. We've got a good turnout so far. We've got I checked yesterday. We were nearly at 50 teams or doubles teams. So that's what, 100 people almost.
Yeah.
Already.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
it's a whole movie theater.
That's within our expectations of what we wanted, and that means it's not slowing down for October. We're looking
so
good.
Nice. You want to do it twice.
I know you're the one. You're the one who pitched that. I know it.
While you're twerking it.
All right, Rob, you want to take us out of this one?
As long as I don't have to twerk on the way out.
Rob.
You do yard work, but you don't twerk?
Yeah, seriously.
Oh,
I don't know.
See, I've been doing it.
Your line.
I've been doing it wrong. I'm gonna take some interesting video content here in the near future. Next time I'm in the yard.
I want to get a obviously AI version of Rob twerking. That new one that's going around where their hip is breaking forward.
I think people would just be.
I will pay for Recoil to make that for me. Recoil, make that for me. He's in chat. He's listening.
I think people just seeing me do rudimentary, everyday labor stuff would be mildly interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, if people watch people play games and people watch people paint miniatures, why would you not watch me shovel a bunch of gravel into a wheelbarrow and lay it all out and Zen garden it, rake it back together?
I want to give me a live cam of your backyard, dude.
Dude, I bet you I have footage from the cameras.
Give me a leak. Leak an Instagram post. Rob Baer doing it over.
Yeah, twerking it in the yard.
Want to see?
That's going to be the name of the post.
You wearing a pair of shorts with your white ass legs.
That's where it gets a little weird because now I was wearing sweatpants and a thermal top.
Why are you?
And it was 90 degrees.
Why are you like this, man?
I don't know.
Doesn't make any sense. All right, take us out of here, man.
So that's it for this one. Thanks for everybody for watching. Make sure to head on over to thelongwar.net and become a veteran of the Long War today.